Hi, I'm here with Aaliyah, and we're going to talk about her performance profile and what it takes to be a mentally tough field hockey player. So she came up with a few aspects that we're going to be working on and talking about and setting some goals.
So my first one would be drive, and like the meaning of drive for field hockey is you have to want to do it and you have to want to get better. And on our team, it was a big struggle this year
Okay.
because a lot of people, everyone was not working together, and that's going to be teamwork later on. But I think my drive is pretty good.
Okay. So how would you rate your drive on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would probably say 6.
A 6. So let's go ahead and color that in on the pie. So just to summarize, drive is, so we can clearly define that and thinking about goals. So drive is wanting to be there, wanting to improve, and putting your best into practice. So we're shading in that part of the pie and up to a 6. And that affects teamwork then as well. Okay, just to make sure I understand what you're saying. All right, what's the next one that you have?
Confidence.
All right.
Which in field hockey, confidence is definitely putting your best foot forward. Because if you are not confident, you bring down other people's confidence on the team. Because playing, you are relying on everyone else. Like if that person has the ball, you have to be telling them like, hey, I'm behind you, like you have me. Or pull around that person. Because when you have the ball, it can be like really tough on you, like getting really stressed out. So you have to be like confident in yourself that you can do it.
Okay, good. So be open, be a team player, be confident in your skills and abilities. Yeah, that certainly makes a lot of sense. So, so you're not, don't crack under pressure.
Yeah.
No, hey, I'm open, and be able to communicate that too. I heard you talking about communication with that as well. So your teammates know
Yes.
that you're confident and you're ready for that. Hey,
Yes.
here I am, pass me the ball. All right, so where would you rate yourself currently? And of course, just we're completing this at the end of your season, right?
Yes.
So just tell us. So your last game was when?
Well, I sadly missed our last game, but our last game was Saturday, I think October something.
Okay.
It was like mid-October.
So do you think, so we're doing this at the end of your season, but do you think your confidence grew from the beginning of the season to the end?
Oh, definitely. Because
Okay.
I didn't play my sophomore year because I was struggling like with my legs and things, like having to build myself up. And I think that I got more confident, definitely how I play and like trusting myself.
That's awesome. And just a little side note, do you think that that carries over to your ability as a student too, that confidence that you build?
Yes.
All right.
Because like if not, like the beginning of the season, I would beat myself up. I would get super like upset after games. So I'm like, well, I didn't do good that time, but my confidence has grown and that all stopped.
How were you able to, that self-talk then, if you would beat yourself up? Because we want to be able to sort of evaluate our own performance, but how were you able to turn that around so it was maybe a productive thing to make your self-talk more positive?
I was definitely like thinking about like, hey, what I do wrong? Like we'd have an hour-long car ride back from a game.
Mhm.
So I would just be thinking like, I definitely like should have pulled around that person or spoke up more. Because on the team, like playing, a lot of people are very quiet and it's hard for like everyone who has the ball.
Okay. Oh. All right. So at the end of the season, where would you rate your confidence?
I would say like 7 or 8, probably 7.
7 or 8? Okay. All of a sudden, there was a pause on the timer, so I was worried. Something happened. All right. I'm just going to hold up so we can see the pie chart that Aaliyah's filling in. So the first one we discussed was drive, and the second one was confidence. And we're moving on to aggression.
So when we did tryouts for field hockey, the coach, they pulled him aside, like told you privately, like why you got what you got. And I was put on varsity because of my aggression. Because she could tell that I had aggression. I knew when to use it because on the field, you can't really be like all of a daisy. It's kind of like hockey. how people get, really upset in hockey. But field hockey is different because you can't, push into people. So you have to know how to control it and use it at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I feel like that so closely ties in with confidence because, if you don't have that confidence, you're not going to want to go after the ball or go after the play and make the play. All right. So that's awesome. And I love that feedback and I love that it's one-on-one. I think because people can really grow from that and it's not as if you're, on stage in front of everybody.
Oh, definitely.
All right. How would you rate your aggression? And probably some of that, as I'm interrupting, sorry, but probably some of that is a little bit of, the feedback that you got from your coach too.
Definitely.
So
I realized she is right. I do definitely have aggression and I can push through it. Definitely more than people on the team. Some people are really kept to themselves and really nice, which it's good to be nice on the field. But aggression is also needed, definitely with hockey.
You sometimes have to put niceness aside
Yes,
and say we want to win too.
I would probably say an 8 on aggression.
Okay, good. And when we say put niceness aside, we're still
being kind.
Yeah, and a good sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's also another point is sportsmanship.
So I think this is encouraging where you're rated here at the end of the season. You still have some growth for your senior season, but even throughout this season, it seems like you made some huge progress. All right, and the next one, what do we have?
Teamwork.
All right, important one for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Definitely field hockey. And in our team specifically, there was a ton of cliques, little friend groups, which is good because they work great on the field together. But people, people will hold the ball for their friends. Mm-hmm. But it's a team sport, so everyone has to be working together. Maybe you don't get along with that person, but you have to pass it to that person. Because we did have some freshmen on our varsity team because field hockey is not super popular, and they definitely needed some growth, definitely with teamwork, because they would always want the ball. But you lose it because you're in the middle field and you're not working with your team. And it's also along with taking criticism for teamwork because people struggle with taking it, but you really have to, definitely in this sport, because it helps you grow. Mm-hmm. And yeah, because teamwork, if the one person has the ball, well, there's another 10 other girls on the field. You have to pass around them. So it's really important to be close with your team.
So how do you foster that teamwork? What happens preseason, postseason, or what does your coach do to encourage that?
We had some team building days where we went to a girl's house and we had a pool party and everyone hung out to get closer, and then this was after season, they went to a pumpkin patch together, who could go, and then everyone built up more friendship for next season, so more people are close.
That's fun. I think that's very, very important. All right, where are we on teamwork?
I would say 7.
Okay.
I would have more if other people are willing to work with me.
Okay. So maybe more openness to that.
There needs to be a lot more openness on the team.
Okay.
So hopefully we get more of that next year.
That's awesome. Please enjoy our Waynesboro High School announcements this morning. As Aaliyah is shading in her pie chart. All right, and we have 2 more to go. Let me just give you an update where we are. We have endurance and sportsmanship. We kind of mentioned that just a little earlier. So pie is looking pretty nice here.
So first, endurance, it kind of goes along with all the other things. You have to work on yourself, definitely at practice. A lot of people like to kind of mess around in practice. I get that, but at some point you have to hone in, you have to focus, because if not, you will not get better for the field or for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to do a lot more running during our practice, because in a game there will be people who will not be running or not be trying to help. But that is really, really needed in our game, and even if you don't think you have energy, you do. you have to like find it and you have to use it.
Gotta dig in.
Yes.
How do you encourage each other then? Because I feel like that just bleeds so much over onto teamwork.
Mhm.
So, and I'm sure sometimes it can be frustrating if you see people not working
yes.
on that. So, how do you do that and still build teamwork and encourage one another?
I try to be very nice about it. Like I will point out like we only have 5 minutes left. You like
You
or-
can do this.
Yes, or push it and then ask for a sub in. Often we didn't have many subs, so I understand keeping some of the energy. But like we'll have one and you can get out for like a minute or two and then get back in, like get into it. So you kind of like have to say it nicely because if you do not, it will be taken the wrong way very easily. I did a lot on the field when we played because there would be a lot of people walking or just like not putting their all. Even if they didn't run at all, they still weren't. So like I pointed out the coach and be like, you like I think you have to talk to this person.
What if it happens in a game?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Normally, coach will pull them out and sub them, and then make sure to talk to them because it needs to be changed.
Right. Needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And clearly you want people to have fun. You know, we're talking
Yes.
about high school athletics, but also to be competitive at the same time. So, all right. So where are you personally on endurance? Where would you?
I think probably more like 7, 8. I still need more stamina, but like I will push till I'm like completely out of breath. Because like in our sport, like a certain thing will happen in the game. You have to go to the 50-yard line and sprint forward because there's only 4 players and then the whole team.
Mhm.
So that's also like you have to push for your endurance.
Right. Just a little side note here. Leah is also a student of mine in personal fitness, and I'm going to tell you probably what I would tell her in feedback with what I've seen is that I would rate her higher than a 7 or 8, but I also am not her field hockey coach. So just seeing her in a different environment. So, all right. And last one, sportsmanship. We sort of touched on this one a little bit too.
A really big one. Sportsmanship is really important because on the field, like in a game, we've had multiple games where we play someone and they're very, very negative towards us. And they will constantly like purposely injure people, like play very dirty in a game. And you do not want to do that. I try so hard to tell like my players, I'm like, we can't, like we're not doing that. I understand they're doing it, but we have to hold it back and be the bigger person because that upsets everyone and it brings down people's drive, confidence, everything. If the other team's playing dirty and has really bad sportsmanship, and at the end of a game, you go in a line and like give high fives, like good job, and people on the other team won't say good job, and that it hurts honestly that they don't want to have good sportsmanship.
Right. And that is stuff we talked about being nice.
Yes.
But there is that fine line. And I do think it's something you have to cultivate. And I like what you said about you have to be the bigger person. And man, it's going to be tough if you're taking a lot of digs, a lot of hits.
It's really hard sometimes.
Yeah. But I think that's one of the most important things, in my opinion, that we need to work on character in high school sports as well. So that's awesome. So where do you rank yourself?
I would say that I'm a 9.
A 9? Good. Awesome. And hopefully you can be a leader for your team, and you probably are. They see that behavior being modeled, which is excellent.
I try my best because if even just one person is not thinking good about the team or they're thinking bad about themselves, it brings everyone down.
Mm-hmm.
Like one negative comment will affect the whole team.
Yeah. It can spread like a poison. Really.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of that. So, well, awesome. So thank you very much for going through this process. And I learned a little bit more about you too, which is really cool. So thank you. All right. Now your student stuff. Neely and okay.